Welcome everybody to P&M's Movie Criticisms. I'm Miss M.
And I'm Miss P.
Welcome everyone. And if you've joined us before and you're no stranger to us, welcome back. So, we always have to grace you with our hot sauce song. So, hype me up, Miss P. Hype me up. Go. Hype me up. Hype me up. I'm waiting.
We don't need no song. You better hype yourself up. We don't need no song. You better hype yourself up. We don't need no song. You better hype yourself up.
This is the hot sauce. 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 That's right, everybody. I know everybody's always asking, well, Miss P, Miss N, what's the hot sauce? We're always going to give you the hot sauce. Always. Always factual. Always right. So, Miss P, can you please tell our audience what we will be reviewing tonight?
We are reviewing Venom, The Last Dance of 2024.
Yes. Well, is it hot or is it not? Well, let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that we have our hot sauce chart. The hot sauce chart can be found on our website, and if you're watching via, say, YouTube or, say, Spotify, there you should see an image of the hot sauce. What's the hot sauce? At the top, we have the Carolina Reaper. There's nothing hotter. There's nothing better. This movie captures everything, leaves nothing out. Then there's the Ghost Pepper. It is amazing, but there are just a few elements that weren't tapped into. Then it's the Habanero. The Habanero is good. You like it. It's a really good movie. You enjoyed your time. After that is the jalapeno. It's meh. It's just meh. You don't really like it. You don't love it. You're just like, I don't know. But at the bottom of that list is the bell pepper. The bell pepper is a complete waste of time. I want my money back. And you're feeling a little angry. Very angry, as a matter of fact. With that being said, Miss P, you gotta give us the hot sauce. How do you rate Venom, The Last Dance?
Rate Venom a ghost pepper. A
Ghost pepper. Really? Okay. All right.
And what would you rate it?
Maybe because it's like Tom Hardy and everything, and Tom Hardy, he did help to write the story. We'll talk about it. Venom: The Last Dance, directed by Kelly Marcel. Then Kelly Marcel did some writing. Tom Hardy, Tom McFarlane, and I'm kind of just skirting around what I'm about to rate it, but maybe I'm doing it on purpose. Maybe I'm not. Okay, I'm going to give Venom: The Last Dance habanero.
We'll see if it doesn't change by the end.
We'll see if I change it. We'll see. So everybody, we have to give a justification as to why we're rating it the way we are with P&M's movie criticisms criteria. Miss P, can you tell our people about that, please?
First, we have number 9. Do we like it or do we love it? Number 8. Is it historically accurate? Number 7. Did it strike my emotions? Number 6. Did it keep my attention? Number 5. Production elements. Number 4. Directing. Number 3. The quality of acting. Number 2. The sound quality and the effects. And number 1, my favorite, the cinematography.
Ding, ding, ding. Cinematography. All right. Well, Miss P, did you like it or did you love it?
I'm in between. It was good for what it was. For Sony picture film, it was good. So I'm not gonna say I like it and I love it. It was right there in that good, sweet middle spot.
Yeah. For me, it was, I have love for Venom. Him and this is the best I can do with my female deepness. I like him. Venom has a charm to him despite that face. Right? Despite that face, he has a charm and a personality to him that you really, really like. That really adds to Eddie, who is portrayed by Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy's Venom and Eddie, right? But I'm in the middle. I don't love it. But I can't say I don't dislike it either. I liked it. I did like it. I liked it a lot. So I'm right in the middle of between love and like, just like you are, to be honest with you. Yeah.
All right. So number 8. is it historically accurate? Because this is fiction, I mean, it does follow chronological order from all the Venom movies. So yes, it is accurate in that sense. From 1, 2, and 3. So yes, it's accurate.
Yeah, I would say so. If we look at the franchise, this is a very successful franchise, but it's a part of Marvel, right? And movies a part of the Marvel franchise are rarely very just like unsuccessful, They all do pretty well. They have their formula, they have their tropes, they stick to it, and they do more than all right. So, when we think about our timeline, when we think about everything that has happened to our character here, that has happened to Eddie, that has happened to Venom. Yeah, definitely. I would say it's following our story in our timeline. It's pretty okay. So I don't have any complaints about it. Although I will say, for the third one, it wasn't bad. I like the previous ones a little bit more. What about you, Miss P?
I liked this one because it was all around wrapping around to the first one. It was wholesome. Like even though it was only rated PG-13, it was very wholesome because the relationship between Venom and Eddie was very wholesome. Like we'll get into that more. We'll deep dive into that more when we get to the acting and the did it keep my attention and did it strike my emotions.
Yeah, definitely. The duo. It's a very, very good duo. Okay, so I guess that does bring us to the number seven. Did it strike my emotions? You go first, Miss B. Did it strike your emotions?
Not in the sense of, oh no. It was more or less like you want to see the good guys win. At the end of the day, it's a Marvel movie. You want to see the good guys win. You want to see the bad guys fail. It's just your basic plot. Like there's nothing too, you don't have to use your mind so hard. It's just a fun movie that you can watch and you're like, well, I kind of know how this might end. I kind of don't, but hopefully it ends with the good guys winning. So it kept my
It always does.
and it did it strike my emotions, not in the way that, like Mad Max Furiosa did.
Ha 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 ha. And yet again, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, has made it in to yet another subsequent episode of P&M's movie criticisms from Miss P. I tell you, that movie really rubbed you the wrong way.
It certainly did.
I think she's really happy to see Tom Hardy. She was upset about that one, boy. Anyways, to keep it going, did it strike my emotions? I agree with Miss P. It just isn't that type of movie. This movie is a feel-good, family-oriented movie. There is some language in there, but they don't say it. They just cut, boom, and then it's cut. So your kids aren't really gonna hear anything. Okay, okay. So that's the adults will be able to fill in the blanks. Let's just say that way. It's not that type of movie. Feel good, adventure, fast, action paced type of movie. That's what it's supposed to do, which I guess brings us to number six. Did it keep my attention? Oh, yeah, yeah. It definitely kept my attention. There were parts where I was like, predictable, predictable, predictable. Predictable, predictable, predictable. Predictable, predictable, predictable. Predictable. Predicted. Predicted that 20 minutes ago. But it kept my attention. What about you? What about you, Miss P?
Well, it kept my attention because it's an action movie and it's fast paced. There were funny parts. There were kind of parts that made you feel kind of like when he was with the family and Venom was talking to him in his head. And he was like, see, you would make a great dad. And he's like, we found home, like each other almost. Like it's just little heartwarming nuggets of gold in there. The whole
It
thing,
is.
it's heartwarming nuggets. Like you really want to see Venom do well. Heartwarming things, little gold nuggets.
You would, and that's the thing about the story arc. And I was, thinking about the story, thinking about its beginning, and I'm thinking about it because it opens up in a bar where he is talking to the bartender in Mexico, and then there's a hole that opens up in space and time, sucks them in, and then spits them back out, and to like an alternate reality. right? And Eddie is visibly annoyed, right? But Venom he's positive. He's like, well, I like this version of the barkeep, right? You know, this because in the first one, they're talking to him, his hair's pulled back into a low bun, his poise, everything is different. But this barkeep, when they're spit back into another version of that time and space reality of Earth, he's like definitely maybe looser, edgier, all of that. And Venom he's trying to make Eddie happier because he's ostracized. And you know, he's lost his life of normalcy being connected to Venom. So there's a loss of humanity, but there's also a gaining of something that's supernatural. But even though we have this gaining of something that's supernatural, there's a longing for that ordinary, normal life that he clearly misses. So when we get to the middle of the story where Miss P is talking about the family that he comes and he runs into, this is the first time in a long time that Eddie has gotten a nice piece of, say, humanity, a nice piece of normalcy. As Miss P says, Venom says you would make a great dad, right? And so that I agree with you, Miss P. I think is awesome. I like that part. I do. I really do like that part.
And here's the thing, the dad was so nice. Like, how many times would you ever, now this only happens in the Marvel universe, but how many times would you walk upon a family, they offer to feed you, take you to Vegas, let you ride in their car, give you money, give you shoes.
Yeah, it's not going to be common. I'm about to attempt to say his name, the name of the actor. If I don't, please politely correct me. Okay? Reese Ifans. I said Rice Ifan. This is the name of the actor who portrays Martin. That's the nice guy. He and his family, they have their 19, they have their 70s van, kind of like the Scooby-Doo van that you see. And it's decked out, all types of 70s goodness, you know. You can tell the era that they grew up in. You really can. And they're a nice family who are going on a road trip. They cashed out their savings and they're going to go see, you guessed it, folks, Area 51. Area 51 is being decommissioned, okay? And just spoiler alert, sometimes we drop some bombs in here. Miss P and I, we're going to do our best to warn you of any spoilers, okay? But their presence, this family isn't just here to give us some feel-good vibes. They're not just here to help Eddie feel better. They actually push the story along and help us. So their presence is more than justified in this storyline so far. So Martin and his family, they are a pleasure. They definitely are. So let's talk about production elements, Miss P. Yeah, production elements.
Now, the production elements, the director, now Sony owns the rights to Venom, right? And they did own the rights to Spider-Man at the same time. But let's talk about how the actual writer walked away. Like, they let him go. And so now they're taking a hiatus on Venom. But that's not to say that he won't be in any other Marvel thing. It's just right now they're taking a hiatus and they're not doing it anymore. So the production elements right there, it made me a little upset because I like Venom, because I just like him with Tom Hardy. Like, the duality of both characters, I liked it. How it was shot, how he came out, how he didn't scare the little boy. He was like, hey, I'm an alien, but I'm a good alien. It was just, once again, little gems that I loved because it was just wholesome. Like, there was nothing wrong with it. It wasn't, and the production just made me happy because they didn't go like 100% gore, or they didn't show, like, for example, where the little girl, like, okay, so it opens with the little girl and her brother running, and she has on some kind of bracelet, and the bracelet conducts the electricity, like lightning struck, and the lightning struck like it, they were holding hands, and he reached out to grab her hand, and when he grabbed her hand, she had on some kind of bracelet, and the bracelet sent the electricity, instead of to her, to him, and it killed him. And so I think she lived with that for a long time, and she was trying to chase her brother's dream for him. And what you see towards the end kind of is when she got the one in her pocket and she squeezed it and happened to be electricity. Happened to be the pink and purple one that had electricity. And I just thought that was an awesome thing that they did and how they showed that. Like the lightning when it struck them, it was done very well. You could see the
That was
clouds
Dr.
coming in.
Payne. Dr. Payne. Dr. Teddy Payne.
You could see, well, Dr. Payne, her character, when she was younger, they were both laying on the beach. That was her brother. And you can see the storm rolling in. You could see the clouds coming in and it getting dark, and then them trying to run home to outrun the storm. And it just happened that the lightning struck and it was going to strike her, but her brother reached out and it struck him.
That was something because Dr. Payne is pretty obsessed. You know, she's obsessed. Even when Strickland is out there in the field losing 3 soldiers, witnessing death, and Strickland is portrayed by, and again, we're gonna do our best to say your name. If I mess it up, please just politely correct me. Chiwetel Ejiofor. um that plays Strickland, and he sees things the way they are. He sees things very black and white. He's your military man, basically, who's in charge of that operation. And Dr. Teddy Payne, she's the head scientist. She's not out there in the field, not like that, not like he is. You know, she has seen the death of her brother, and that's what drives her. But Strickland, he sees the deaths of all the soldiers, and that's what drives him, right? They're both driven by death, but on different perspectives. And Dr. Teddy Payne, she gets trapped in a hole. She gets pigeonholed with her views. She just, she doesn't see the deaths there. And Strickland's like, I just lost soldiers, okay? And then Sadie, who's her pretty much her right hand woman. Sadie is like, Dr. Payne, like Dr. Payne. Some of our comrades have died, and so she has to become more sober, and she does, as Miss P says, become more sobered. And Dr. Teddy Payne is portrayed by the actress Juno Temple.
And here's the thing, you have Christmas. That's what her name is. Her name is Christmas in the movie. All the people got symbiotes. They let them out and they all had symbiotes. And because of this, they were able to actually help, but they were getting eaten. They were getting taken away. They were getting eaten by the tracker, the thing that tracked them. And she had a symbiote, and it turned into like the colors of a Christmas tree, which I really liked. The security guard, he got shot, but the symbiote went on to him and he was able to help, but he got eaten. Well, he got killed. And then there were like 4 other people that had symbiotes, but they all got killed. And the one that turned into the snake, he was like, Venom, go, go, just go. I'll hold it off, just go. And he got eaten. But
Yeah.
like the production elements were just, you had to watch it in order to see, because it's very much so something that you have to see. Being descriptive is good, but it's something that you visually have to enjoy, because you can see the colors. You can see there was one that turned into a Christmas tree. There was one that had electricity and she was pink and purple and she was electricity. She had dreads for some reason, which I thought was kind of weird, but she had dreads. And then you had Christmas, who turned into the Christmas tree color, which was green and red. And then you had the security guard that was big, but he had like electric, like fire type of stuff going on. And you had the 2 that had the netting. You had the snake guy who was green. He was just all green. And the 2 that combined together. So all in all, you had 8.
Yeah, and to give you a short synopsis so you can picture what Miss P is saying, and so basically, the symbiotes have a creator, a very evil creator. They basically turn against their creator and they trap him, they ensnare him, and then they run away. So now their creator, thinks they're ingrates and it's like, I'm going to destroy you. And when I destroy you, I'm going to destroy everything around you, the people, the animals, plants, the entire planet, all planets. And so he sends, as Miss P said, the tracker. These monstrous creatures jump into portals and they start sniffing out for this thing called the Codex. And you guessed it, who has it? None other than your one and only Venom and Eddie. And so as the story progresses, they get to a point where, Dr. Payne and Sadie, aka Christmas, they have all those symbiotes there. They're trying to match and trying to pair them. And they've basically created an army. And all of those venom-like creatures or symbiotes, they know that they will have to fight. They know this. Okay, they're kind of because the one in green says it. That's the detective one that's like the green snake that Miss P said. That's Detective Mulligan, played by Stephen Graham. They because he told him. He tells Venom and Eddie that you have an army here waiting for you. They've been waiting for Venom. They've been waiting for Eddie. It's just our scientists that are in the dark here. The scientists don't know what's about to happen. Strickland and his soldiers, they don't know what's about to happen, right? But they know what's about to happen. Is a war about to happen, and it's only just the beginning. So stay tuned, and that's enough. I'm not going to say anything more, except for one thing else to add to production elements, and that is the movie budget was 110 million. I think it was maybe originally 80, 90 million dollars, but Sony had to give them more money because of issues and price increases and everything that happened since COVID. And in the box office, it made $478.9 million. What do you think about that, Miss P?
First movie that really wasn't a flop.
That we reviewed?
Yeah, that we reviewed.
No, no, it's made more than twice its budget back.
So it definitely isn't a flop.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, no, it's very successful. Very successful. But the Venom numbers. I remember it was a Venom 2 or Venom 1 that was like at least twice as much as the 478.9 million. It was like 800 and was it $850 million I was reading? I don't really have those stats by me. I just really have for Venom 3 The Last to Dance. But yes, it was successful. And as far as the shots and say that for production value, beautifully done. They had some really nice locations there that we had a chance to take in as well. So yeah. But Miss P, I'll let you take on number 4 and then I'll chime in.
The directing. Now, the directing for this was actually pretty good. There was nothing wrong. I liked it. It was quick, fast, in a hurry. Um, and because the directing goes into the acting, which I don't want to get into, but the directing for this movie was good. Ouch.
Yeah, I think Kelly Marcel did a great job. The story, it has a complete story arc. A complete story arc. So Miss P already said that she liked the connections between Dr. Payne as a child and Dr. Payne as an adult. They tie those two together. Check, right? If we look at our story arc, take it a little further, we have a lonely Eddie, Venom, keeping up his mood. He's the comedy relief here, right? In the end, I don't want to say what happens in the end,
We
but I
can't say.
will say, huh?
We can't say because if we do say, it'll be bad.
I will say that it is bittersweet. I would say it's bittersweet. It's one of those things that it's something that you can't ignore. You really can't ignore it. They find out Strickland is like, okay, he wants to destroy Venom. He wants to destroy Ed because he feels like it's necessary to stop this impending evil, right? But he learns that, okay, these are not the bad guys. Strickland teams up with Eddie and Venom, Dr. Teddy, Payne, and Christmas. And then you know who comes back to join the party, everybody? Miss P, tell everybody who comes back to join the party.
Now, are you talking about the hotel? Are you talking
I'm
about the
talking about our
family?
family.
Okay, so let me explain something. Okay, so the family is a bunch of hippies. Like they are literally a bunch of hippies and they're vegans. And he's like, we finally made it. We find Area 51. And they sneak into, why they do this, I don't know. But they sneak into Area 51 and they go into one of the abandoned bunkers. And they're just like, everything's broken. There's no aliens. The aliens bust out of bust out of the cement and the wall and the rock right there, and they're like, "Oh my God, there are aliens!" And here's the thing: they help more than they hinder. Because usually when you have good-hearted characters, they either hinder the hero or they help the hero. Well, they helped the hero. They didn't hinder anything at all.
Yeah, that's right. They come to join the party. At first, they're like about to die, but then they're saved by the symbiotes, right? And Venom and Eddie, and we think they're gone because Dr. Payne's like, "Yo, get into this car. We're going." She drops them off by their van. We think they're gone, but here comes Martin with a bazooka. Where did he get that? I don't know. I'm not gonna ask questions. All I know is that he shows up at the nick of the time and goes, and he fries some much needed invader alien guts. Okay, so they join the party. Everybody comes together to tackle this threat. So it's very much a family and friend affair, and I liked it. I enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed it. So, do you have anything else to add, Miss P?
So let's just say this. If you want to get the Blu-ray, the Blu-ray has 7 deleted scenes, 9 featurettes, 1 music video, and it also confirmed that the symbiote that bonded to Mulligan in the film is Toxin.
Yep, yep, yep. That's right. That's right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to number 3, quality of acting. How do you feel about that quality of acting, Miss P?
I really enjoyed it. I liked the little boy, to be honest, because he could sing really, really good. And you don't see that in child actors a lot. They either sing really poor or they sing really good. It's like, and he was really good at singing. And he carried the whole, like, I don't want to see an alien because I think they would be scary. And so it's just his innocence is what made it wholesome for me. Like his sister was comic relief as well because she was like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, whatever. I'm over this. Whoa, we're picking up serial killers and letting them go in the van.
Pretty much, right? She was like, he's giving me like creepy killer vibes, okay? And so the name of the sister, that's Echo, and portrayed by Hayla Finley. And I couldn't agree with Miss P more about the little boy. His name is Leaf, and portrayed by Dash McCloud. He is adorable. He's as cute as he wants to be. He's just a little bundle of adorableness. When he was in distress, when seeing the destruction, I was like, okay, little actor, go, go, go. I love it when I see young actors really do their thing on the silver screen. It was good. I like the acting a lot from the kids, but really mainly just Leaf here. But the girl, Echo, she was cool. She was cool. She was cool. You know whose acting I enjoyed? She didn't get a lot of screen time, but it was Mrs. Chen, portrayed by Peggy Lou.
Yes, she was funny. That dance. He said, when did you have time to rehearse this? It was one of those moments where there had to be comic relief because there had been so much tension built up that something had to break the tension.
Yeah, something had to. I mean, there are some things going on. The guy peed on his foot, so Venom wasn't having that. Then before that, the guy was rude because he wasn't, formal enough. Venom wasn't having that. He dispatched both of those guys. I'm not saying how. You're gonna have to watch the movie to find out. So I like the acting. I like Dr. Payne because she was just so obsessed too.
And by obsessed, you mean every waking moment of her life.
Yeah, really, truly. I mean, she just, ooh. But, at the end of the day, at the end of the story, she made a full circle as a character. And, that's what's important there, that growth, seeing some growth in her because she needed that. She needed that a lot. And one thing I would like to talk about is something that I think that pushes our story forward. But I'm only going to talk about it just a little bit because I think it also tells about Venom 4. Okay? And they were giving us some breadcrumbs there and some clues of the puzzle to put together. So just in case you don't get it, I'm gonna give this you some of the breadcrumbs that I believe we're seeing here, which is you remember Narika?
You gonna have to give me her movie name. What the world?
No, no.
Girl, you have to explain that to me because that caught me off guard, and I was like, "Was that a person?"
Oh, no.
Basically, it was like this. He was like, "Once you die, the Narika opens and you can see everything for what it is." And he's and Eddie looked at him and said, "It's already open for me. I can see everything."
That's right. And so Narika is that thing where it's like, I don't know if you've read about people and their near-death experiences, but sometimes when you have a near-death experience, or sometimes when you do actually die and you come back with a revelation that you didn't have before because you're so tied to the body, you can't see everything. But when you're leashed, untied from your body, you have a bird's eye view. And with that bird's eye view, it gives you a new perspective and a new way of thinking of things. But it also talks about, but perhaps the symbiote's ability to survive, and come back. And that's all I'm saying about Narika. Narika. I've said what I wanted to say. I'm not giving. That's all for the breadcrumbs. That's it. That's it. We're gonna have to wait and see what happens next because this is not the last dance. That's for sure.
And then the sound quality and the effects. What did you think, Miss M?
They're cool. It's exactly what you expect from a Marvel film, except for Detective Mulligan's. You said what's it was named Toxin or something?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't like that one, There's something off about that one. But I get that that's the design. But, really good effects, really good sound quality and effects. Just, when he takes off on a horse, they play some Queen music, love Queen. You can't go wrong with Queen. And so I can't complain. There's a lot of action. It keeps you definitely watching the movie. I don't have any complaints. What about you, Miss P?
I loved it. The effects were great. I'm not going to say what happens, but when the door is put over Eddie, that just melts your heart into a million pieces. I'm not going to give a spoiler. That's a spoiler, but I'm not telling you what happens. But when the door is placed over Eddie, you're like, no, why? It's like, and he was like, I'm not even gonna say that part. But actually the sound was great. The effects were great. When they came over the helicopter and they were dropping in the water, that was just pure greatness because well, when we get up to cinematography, I'll tell you why I like that part so much. But do you have
Okay.
anything else to say, Miss M?
No, not at all. Ding, ding, ding. Number one cinematography. Miss P. Dear, thank.
All right, the cinematography was wonderful. The shots were wonderful. My favorite shot, and I know this sounds crazy, was when Eddie was fighting the who he thought was an armed person under the water, and it turned out to be a woman, and he shot her. And you could see she was trying to shoot him. He pulled the gun back and shot her. And when he took her mask off, he didn't know that it was a girl, and he was in utter shock. That's the part that got me. He was in utter shock. He was like, and the look on her face was, oh my God, you shot me.
Soldiers, when they're on the battlefield, there's a high chance you're gonna get shot. She got shot, she died.
But the way that it was done was like underwater shots. They wasn't all bubbly and crazy. It
It
was
was good.
steady. It was fluid. The shots where they were in the woods, beautiful. I don't know if they were in Wyoming or Arizona. I really don't know. But it was beautiful because you saw the desert. You saw the horse. Venom, did his symbiote thing for the horse and made the horse, jump high and low. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you finally stopped, because the horse was getting tired and it needed water. So he got out of the horse. And as soon as he got out of the horse, all you see is a helicopter come out of nowhere, drop down 6 soldiers.
That's
Beautifully
right.
shot. Beautifully shot.
You might as well say it was SEAL Team 6.
Well, yeah. And then Vegas. In Vegas, where you see all the lights, beautiful. When they go inside of the casino, beautiful. Like it was just all of it was shot. I think it was shot very well. I liked it. I have no complaints. I just think if you want to see the director's cut, get the Blu-ray version and you can see the director's cut.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I agree. I agree. I couldn't agree more. The cinematography was done by Fabian Wagner. That's right. So, thank you, Fabian. All right. And since we're thanking people, thank you, Kelly Marcel. And also, Tom is and Tom, our boy Tom Hardy. Hey Tom, how's it going? Hello from Miss M and Miss P. Oh, and by the way, Tom Hardy, Mr. Tom Hardy, you know, Miss P is such a fan of yours. Go ahead, Miss P. Tell him, just in case he listens to this podcast.
Well, guess what? Now that you're doing a Mad Max 2, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Don't back out of it. Don't not play it. Play your role, sir. Play your role. The two roles that I've always seen you in, Venom and Mad Max. That's where it goes for me. So please don't drop out of the film. Please make the film better because let me tell you, that Furiosa stuff was purely trash. That is all.
Well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, and well, Tom,
Oh, I
you
have
got
one thing
you.
to say before we
Okay,
quit.
Tom, she's not done.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm done with Tom. Sorry, I'm done with you. But
Okay. Tom will be like, okay, all right, Tom, that was words from a diehard fan. All right, Miss P, please continue.
here we go. Venom in the movie. Venom says to Eddie, "You could get voted people's most sexiest man," and Eddie replies, "I've already won it. I've already won that." In 2021, he won the Sexiest Man award in the UK.
Who vote? I want to like who? How do you vote for this? I would love to participate in voting for this.
Usually it's in People or USA Weekly. They have the Sexiest Man Alive and it's voted on.
That's I want to vote. Let me vote. I want to vote. Go ahead, Tom. Congratulations. I know it's like late, but you know what they say: better late than never. You do your thing. All
And
right.
I also have to say this. Venom The Last Dance has received awards and nominations, including a Shorty Award for the Venomization My Pet and nominations for Visual Effects Society Award. They won the award at, give me one moment. Okay, it won Outstanding Effects.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely. So yeah, it was a nominee for a few things. Yeah,
But see, it's
definitely.
always good to know what it won. It was
Oh.
nominated in the Indiana Film Journalists Association.
Mhm.
It was Outstanding Effect Simulation in a Photo Real Feature.
Mhm.
Let me see.
And I think you're looking for reframe.
Yes, because I
That's right.
really, let me see.
You're looking for reframe.
And it won the Saturn Award.
Yes. Yes. And the reframe stamp it was a 2025 winner as a feature. So overall, I think it was a very successful movie. When you look at beginning, middle, and end, so when you're looking at the story arc, it all comes together. I think by the time we get to the end of the movie, we do have that normalcy that was lost return. But the question is, for how long
Because
will Eddie have him?
you know how Marvel does their things, the cutaway. And
Yeah.
this time it had two. Dun dun dun. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so go ahead and watch it. I think you'll like it. It's a feel good, take you for a ride, family adventure action movie, and you won't be disappointed. I'm gonna take a look at my chart, see if I want to take it up from a habanero. The answer is no. It's staying right below the ghost pepper for me, Miss P. Anything
Ooh.
else you want to say?
Am I changing mine? No. Is it good? Yes.
No, yes, yes, yes. And the only reason for me why it's going to be a habanero is because it was just very predictable. I even, I didn't watch any trailers. I don't watch trailers. The only thing I like to look at is I want to know the budget. I want to know how much it grossed. Okay. If it made a profit, was it a flop? I just want to know the facts. Give me the facts. I am to tell you something about how Miss P and I work. We do not read the work of other critics because we do not want to be influenced. Okay? We are giving you how we perceive this film completely uninfluenced by people. So much to the point where we don't even watch trailers. Okay? So I knew, that's the only thing. I, for once though, Marvel, if you ever watch this, I challenge you. If you can give me this one thing, boy, oh boy, will I have certain things to say. I want to see the protagonist just fail. Just completely and utterly fail. I want to see everything look like Doomsday, a complete apocalypse. I want everything to be just dead and the audience to say, whoa, what just happened?
Black
And
Panther
then I
2.
can and then end the movie. Just end it. And in the most original, refreshing way, give us the best comeback story that a protagonist has ever had.
Black Panther 2.
Black Panther 2 was not it.
No, no, no.
No.
But that, okay, look, the queen died, everybody died. Neymar was just whooping everybody's tail. He was like, hey, make an alliance with me. Sherry was like, no. I mean, that was a pretty, it took a lot to unpack. The Black Panther had died. Okay, so you got to look at what you're coming from. You're coming off of Black Panther, box office success, smashing, nominated for an Oscar,
But they
which
only
never
went that
happens.
direction because of Chadwick Boseman.
But it
It
but
wasn't
it gave you
planned.
but it gave you what you asked for.
No,
Destruction, death.
no, that's not what I'm looking for because they didn't count on Chadwick Boseman dying.
I know, but
So you can't really plan the story and really bring it out because that was a surprise. It loses its element. Chadwick Boseman died, and they weren't planning on Chadwick Boseman dying. Because if they had planned on Chadwick Boseman, well, say if they had planned on Black Panther dying, right? Then they would have been able to build up the story and give some breadcrumbs and to then be able to execute the story in a manner that would be a crazy, legendary comeback for our protagonist. But because it was a complete and utter surprise that he died, they weren't able to really build it up, in my opinion. So that's what I think. That's what I think.
oh,
Anyways, Marvel, I challenge you. I challenge you.
this is
That's
me.
all I have to say. What about
I
you?
let me go back to my one of my favorite movies in my top 20, Black Panther. I'm a Black Panther enthusiast,
La Pantera Negra.
pretty much, yes. Oh. But I like Black Panther 2 for this reason. Yes, Chadwick Boseman passed away. Heartbreaking, throws popcorn at screen, not ready. But the end all be all, yes, here's a spoiler alert. He has a son. Dun dun dun. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, I
Because
get it,
you got
but
it. But here's the thing. She lost her brother. She loses her mother. She loses one of her guards.
sure, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like that arc is pretty sad. Like she sees her cousin in the throne room and then it's burning on fire. Like there's a lot of symbolic things that are happening in that movie. It's like when you're down to your lowest point and you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
It is, but for me, it's like I wasn't ready for like Chadwick Boseman to go. It's this whole what if era, for me, there will always be what if,
Have you not seen the
what if.
cartoon?
Well, I'm talking about I've seen the cartoon, but I'm talking about what if with Chadwick Boseman. I want Chadwick Boseman. I want that. I want Chadwick Boseman out there in up front, and I'm never gonna get that. Like never. That's gonna be one of those things where I'm just gonna be like, and they were talking about another Black Panther. I know we're getting off. We're starting to be on the. We're off the beaten path. We are officially off of it. But I think Aaron Pierre might be a really good Black Panther. What do you think?
Aaron Pierre would be a good Black Panther, but I think this Black Panther is going to have Denzel Washington in it.
Okay.
So I think with Denzel Washington and Aaron Pierre, if they got him to play Black Panther, I mean, we would have to see what happened to Shuri and all that stuff and wrap that up. But then you have the big bad Neymar, you know. But Aaron
Yeah,
Pierre would make
Neymar.
a good. But Aaron Pierre would make a good inclusion. Like he would be a good part to bring in because he's a fresh face and everybody already knows who he is. You know, because he was
Yeah.
Mufasa. So I mean. How can you not know who that is? He's dating Tiana Taylor. How can you not know?
Right. Right.
So I think that that would be a good like segue. But let's go back. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I'm giving it a ghost. She's giving it a habanero. And come see us on our Patreon page. Come see us on our website. Come see us, come see us, come see us.
That's right. And get involved. Tell us what you think about what we're talking about. Black Panther, Miss P's personal favorite, Furiosa Mad Max Saga.
Oh my gosh, no. The
And
trash.
tell us what you're thinking about Venom, The Last Dance. And if there's a movie you want us to review, tell us. Talk about it. Tell us, tell us. All right, we want to know what you think. Come and engage with us. Well, with that said, I'm done. Thank you for joining us. I'm Miss M, and I'm about this P.
And I Miss P.
See y'all later.